All right, real quick, here's a sneak peek. This is a 15-inch i9 spec'd out bad boy versus a 16-inch base model. And as you can see, the rendering is neck to neck. That is nuts. I literally can't believe this. This is my i9 Vega 20, 30%, and this is the base model 16-inch.
All right, I got news, and it's bad news. 15-inch MacBook Pro users, you're gonna wanna sit down for this. I got bad news, but it's not bad news for the new 16-inch MacBook Pro users and soon-to-be owners. I gotta just keep it a buck, man. But if you have a 15-inch, even if you have them maxed out with the Vega, I had the Vega 20 and the i9. So I did a performance test between last year's 15-inch MacBook Pro, Vega 20, i9, up against a base model i7 16-inch. And I did that just to see if it could justify helping someone out there save money. Like the amount spent on the 15-inch spec'd out in comparison to the amount spent on this 16-inch with the i7 with this new graphics card, which is, might I add, really, really good. It's kind of unfair. So if you're like me, someone who just recently purchased the 15-inch, which I did within a week ago, and the new 16-inch came out and you feeling salty, you should every bit much feel as salty as can be, because I got something to show you, especially for the creators that are out there doing video production. Okay, so what did I do? I grabbed a 4K project and a 1080p project, put it on this Samsung T5, which is a hard drive that I highly recommend anybody who has a MacBook Pro, because this thing helps keep my own laptop storage clear, because I can edit off of this thing, I can offload onto this thing, and it's fast because it's an SSD, and they're pretty inexpensive in today's world. If you want the upgrade of this, you go with the X5, which is Thunderbolt 3, and that thing's super fast. That's the M.2. I own one of those as well. Well, I did until they had a problem and I had to remove it out the enclosure and put it in the USB-C enclosure, but that's another story. Basically, I took the project, exact same library. This is Final Cut Pro, and which is most optimized to run on MacBooks, especially if you're doing video editing. If you're doing Premiere Pro, I'm sorry, you're doing it the tough way, but I'll do those tests maybe later in the future, but Final Cut Pro is really the way to go if you're on the Apple ecosystem. Trust me, I'm telling you. I spent a lot more money than I had to trying to get Premiere Pro to perform the way I could on a PC. So Final Cut Pro, I put in a 1080p project, a recent one of mine, and it's the exact same one on each, and the performance, it's looking ideal. It's identical, you know what I mean? You can scrub. Now that's the beauty of the touch bar, I love that. On either or, get the same type of scrubbing. Now, mind you, I'm on a base model 16-inch versus a spec'd out 15-inch, and I'm getting similar performance as far as scrubbing. Even loading it in and the background rendering was very similar.
As you can see right here, the i9 is just shredding. Now, I was touching the mouse on the 16-inch i7, but it's moving too. So it's not fair to say that they started at the same time, but we definitely are seeing the background rendering go.
And then when it came to exporting, believe it or not, this is so weird, man, because it was just so up and down all over the place, but the new 16-inch base model i7 in many cases and times outperformed the Vega 20 i9 15-inch.
Ahead for a 3% lead right now. As you can see, 67 to 70% on the render. That's crazy.
And if it didn't outperform it, it was right on his butt. Whoa, these are like neck and neck. This is absolutely crazy. And that, to me, is just kind of unfortunate for those who shelled out the cost and the amount to get the i9 Vega 20 in comparison to what you could have paid with the 16-inch, getting even more improvements as far as keyboard, speakers, airflow, just all around a better design of the MacBook Pro at a cheaper price with, if not the same or similar performance. And if it wasn't the same, it was right behind it. They finished at the exact same time. It's kind of off-putting and offsetting for those who shelled out those bucks. Me. But this is great news going forward. This is like amazing news for those of you who are in the market. Don't fall for price cuts on the 15-inch. Get the 16-inch. I'm gonna tell you that now. And if it's more and it's a little bit out of your budget, look, man, even if you're getting a base model and you're adding some bells and whistles, you know what I mean? Make sure your RAM is up there. Beef up your storage if you can. These are places where you can take that money that you would have put into the i9 variant, especially of a 15-inch, And I say if you need the i9, you need the extra cores, and you're gonna be doing crazy 4K with all the transitions and you're gonna be pushing it, go ahead. I don't think you need to spec out the top of the line i9 because Matthew Moniz made a great video. Yo, I will link it at the end or on the card towards the end. You guys should check that out because he shows you how, even though the Mac advertises like, you know, whatever, 4 or 5 gigahertz, it'll start up there, but it always gets knocked down. And it doesn't make sense to shell out the little extra for the higher end i9 when you can just do the base i9 and then spec out your storage, which is most important. Beef up your RAM, beef up your onboard terabytes. And I think that's where the money is well spent. But I'm telling you, get the 16-inch. So then after doing the 1080p, which I expect with Final Cut Pro and the optimization, especially this new optimization that Final Cut Pro has, man, it is crushing the game. I expect the 1080p to be a breeze. Things got interesting when it got to 4K. Right now, currently, the i7 is pulling up 47% and then 45% on the i9 Vega 20. This is where I talk about that the results vary. I want to show you, like, when I first imported the 4K project and it's doing the background rendering, the i7 was kicking butt. All right, we are pulling ahead for a 3% lead right now. As you can see, 67 to 70% on the render. That's crazy. It was about, you know, 4 or 5% just ahead. But then I took off the problematic like overlays and adjustment layers and titles, and I put those flat. Then after that, the background rendering restarted. The i9 is starting to kick butt. At that point, the i9 came back. The Vega 20 showed up. Interesting thing is I started the 16-inch on this background render before this one, and right now the Vega 20 is starting to smoke. This 15-inch right here is at 23%, while that one's at 19. But it's really weird because right after that, when I went to the rendering and I started to render the projects, when I went to render out to like H.264, the brand new Radeon 5300M shined, and it outshined the Vega 20. Think about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an inconsistency of the 5300M on the base model 16-inch of either outperforming the Vega 20 or being right behind it. It's crazy. Now, there was a point when I went to export for Apple ProRes with the 4K project, the i9 Vega 20 shined. But it still wasn't even by that much. And if you watch other videos like Max Europe, he did a video showing these, like his is more in depth and more technical, you know what I mean, more on the nerd side because he has the benchmarks and all that stuff. But just for me, like, you know me, I'm all practical user experience, and seeing this and just feel as a user, as someone who is personally invested financially, especially into the 15-inch, which I grabbed because I felt like the 16-inch wasn't gonna come in time. And I got kicked in the head when they dropped it. And then having a 15-inch, and I am gonna get the 16-inch that I want, but it's not gonna come without a cost. It's gonna come with a little bit of a hassle, but I'm gonna finagle and make it happen. But I just feel like I got cheated going with the 15-inch Vega 20 i9 as opposed to what these 16 inches offered, man. It's crazy. The optimization is there. The airflow is really helping. All of the new external features are there. And these new graphics cards, if you're doing video editing or anything of that sort, man, these new Radeons are the way to go. 100,000%. I can't stress that enough or anymore. So I just want to let you know, if you're in the market in between the two, your decision should be made now. 16-inch all the way. And to all my 15-inch owners, I feel for you. I feel for you. You're gonna be salty. You got every right to be, but you're gonna just have to be salty over there playing unless you're making some moves to swap over. The grass is greener on the other side, and man, I'm actually blown away. I'm very impressed. The main reason that I wanted to do this performance test is to shout out to the people out there. Like, you know, you could get a base model 16-inch and you can do some numbers. You can move some weight. It's very capable, so you don't have to go crazy and spend X amount. But if you need to spend the X amount and you need to beef it up, yo, you can do that with confidence. You can do that, man, with major confidence. Yes, the 16-inch is a little bit thicker, no big deal. It's heavier, no big deal, because you're getting more battery, more airflow, a better performing machine in every way. The good news about this is Apple listened to the consumers, they made the changes needed, and they're giving us an amazing piece of equipment. This is an amazing tool for doing what we need to do. The only problem is they didn't do it until now. So all of the people who took the L's for us early, adopting the butterfly keyboard and so forth, and then complaining and having the voice to speak up about it, you guys have forced a change going forward and the benefits of the future 16-inch MacBook Pro owners. So I'm salty. I'm jealous. And I'm for sure 100,000% gonna get me a 16-inch. And I just wanna shout out to all my creators, all of my MacBook Pro shoppers. Yo, man, the 16-inch is the way to go, point blank, period. Obviously, I'm gonna be getting the higher end one and we'll do some more then, but I've seen enough. Yo, links in the description, go get you one, go get you some, you know what I mean? Also, I got some of the best accessories, you know what I mean? Everything from the best mouse, which is Logitech MX Master, the best webcam, if you don't wanna deal with that 720p nonsense, man, get you a Logitech Brio. Hey, yo, those Samsung T5 external hard drives are a must. If you wanna do it big, go with the X5, but the T5s are plenty. You don't even need the X5. The X5s are crazy fast though, and crazy expensive. So I have links in the description to those as well. And you're gonna need the dongle. Get used to the dongle life. It is what it is, man. And CJKnowsTECH makes some of the best dongles, man. So links in the description. Yo, I'm out, man. Get that 16-inch.